Greetings everyone, here's Lodrick again, and this is a game War in the Pacific Advanced Edition. This is my play by email match against KilRoy. For him it's allied side, and for me it is Japan. This is scenario 1 on the game version 27. The Americans have the walking torpedoes at the start of the war to give KilRoy a small more booster. And we are now in the middle of March already, so maybe 2 weeks left and a little for me to get use of my amphibious assault bonus for Japan. Once we enter April, everything is equal. So there's something thinking for the allies. He is trusty. No attack happened. Some shell hits on my cargo ship. Okay. And I unload more, I think Navy Guard units, I'm not more sure. One more hit on my cargo ship, but no fire, so that is, I think, all acceptable. Again, attack against my submarines. No hit. I still locate the ships going east, leaving Marshall Islands. But often my Air 3 commander is maybe judging this kind of task force is not a value target for making a torpedo attack. And I'm also very low on supplies, so maybe this is the other reason why there's no airstrike. And third, I give my orders more or less to make a port strike attack, then yeah, my airplanes are already occupied. So maybe there's nothing more left in the Marshall Islands for the Allies, so I make port strikes, but I hit nothing. But this consumes, of course, supplies for KilRoy and less supplies for the armies on the ground left. And Cebu is still holding out. Don't know how long. But the British army in Burma is also very exposed. They don't have really a clear path to retreat to India. Even if they try to run away, I can bombard them for many weeks coming. So I'm not sure if these British troops have really any supplies. In Hanoi, also every day some bombs dropping on these Chinese units. Okay, no surprise airstrike here. Maybe in the afternoon. So these are my carriers linking up with my cruiser formations, raiding the west coast of India. I try to lure out allied aircraft from Colombo. Oh, no hit. If there's nothing important, there's nothing possible to attack. And today I was able, so I blew out the Blenheims, luring them into my cap fighters. But unluckily I was not really able to kill them all. They bypassed my caps. these are Blenheims, they have only bombs, so. And this often cannot really penetrate the deck armor, and first they must hit. This is even hard to hit, and most bombs will bounce off, at least from battleships and heavy cruisers. This gives me the opportunity to at least damage or kill some by flak. And maybe outgoing I can kill some more. Yeah, so maybe they was able to attack me, but they still pay a high price for this strike. And 3 Fulma, 1 try is on their own. And no chance. Yeah, there was this Australian forces. I sent, I think, a Navy Guard unit in. Daily bombardment in Aichang. And we arrive here at the next Space Force, so here's a Chinese British airbase I can take. No aircraft on ground, but more or less this airbase is now out of action and destroyed. The cavalry unit is also retreating with nothing really inside. My 2 Navy Guard units can take on the enemy fort level, but still not achieve victory. And here in Borneo I was able to force some Dutch leftover units now back deep in the water. Deep inside the island, I would not care. Port Blair is still holding. And Cebu is only bombardment, but no attack today. Okay, good. Again, I play this match more or less not on aggressive mode. I really try to fight in a, let's say, in a reasonable tactical, strategic playstyle a nation would maybe fight. Not trying all or nothing and super crazy, and not to play here too gamey or whatever you want to call it. So air losses high for KilRoy, mainly related to this debacle. His Blenheim, Fulma, 13 aircraft lost here, and a bunch of other aircraft. I have here also ops losses on my 0 side, but if I don't lose a pilot, I would say it doesn't matter. I have a wounded pilot. That is always okay. Most of the wounded pilots will come back. Ship sunk, nothing today, official. I'm not sure. I think there was some sinking sound, but it's always hard to know where and what. So in China, I'm closing in on this Chinese leftover to finally open the road between Yan'an, Xi'an, and East China. All the rest is no big change. I took this airbase force here, the last Chinese unit out. So this is, I think, the Chinese aviation support. I will maybe kill them. This isn't a highway, so of course I can take them out and then it's done. I'm also trying to capture here all these border hexes and dot hexes. Here's also 4 British units, and I have here only a Thai unit. This is more or less like a blockade and waiting for reinforcements. Yeah, I start to transfer my my Batavia army, I think, first to Singapore, then I let them rest and refit everything, and then once I am done with this, I can maybe choose a new target. Borneo is okay. These units are now broken. I can let them stay there. I don't really care this too much. Yeah, India maybe check again. So here was this air battle. I more or less let all my units escort my carriers, so they are more or less cover force, and my carriers provide air cover, so that my zero is getting good kill ratio. Maybe this air pilot's getting here some kills today. Oh, not all of these pilots are perfect, but it's I try at least to train my pilots as best as possible before I let them have an active fighter duty. You can also see that I overstack my carriers a little. You can go in this orange mode. I think that is still okay. But once you have red, I think it's not more possible to take off and land on this carrier. So this is always possible to do, and I also have here like I use because I reform all my air wings to 90, then I break them down to 30, and then because this is simply only standard, and then you have this kind of carriers, they cannot handle so much, but it doesn't matter. You simply have an air wing of 30. I give them 30 pilots, and then I fill up the air wing as much as possible, and you can see I can go here to 22. Every other airframe will automatically go in reserve, and because I don't have so many airframes left, I normally, once they are in reserve, I normally transfer them back to the pool. I don't really have enough airframes to play with reserve air, but this is, I think, play style, depending on the player, how he want to handle this, and what stage of the war maybe. So yeah, enemy destroyers hunting my poor submarines. Marshall Islands. Yeah, I get here information that there's enemy ships, but these are leaving ships. They're also leaving. I don't know where they come from, where they won't go. I also see that the air presence is now much lower, so KilRoy took out, I think, airframes and no ships in port. I have always maximum detection, because I have here daily picture recon missions running. To know how strong is the enemy and where his troops are is, I think, the most important in a global war conflict, at least on this big map. Don't guess, no, is always more important. And I also see that ships are coming in and going out, but I more or less now in defense mode here in New Caledonia. I try to maybe intercept enemy battleships, heavy cruisers trying to bombard Comac. Then this is now my focus. And a new supply convoy is coming in. These are cheap cargo ships, more or less. I fill them up with supplies, and then I hope that they can survive this. I also have here some air cover, so I will bring in more fighters maybe this turn, so that I can hopefully unload his supplies. Even if I lose his ships in the long run, if the supplies arrive in Comac and at least can give me here 4,000 or 5,000 supplies, and I have enough to run Air Force. Good. Thank you all. See you next time. Take care. Bye bye.